Right, so you're going to turn to page 70. You'll notice that they are not labeled. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to quickly go and finish off labeling our drawing. And as I said to you, you've got your picture plane, which is an imaginary piece of glass. I'm going to label that PP. The next, we have our horizon line. And on the bottom here, we've got our ground line. This is our station point. This is where we are standing. And the first thing we're going to do is we are going to find out where our vanishing point is. So lean your ruler on your clipboard and project a vertical line up. This is a light line. Where it crosses the horizon line, you're going to darken it, and we're going to label that VP, for vanishing point. You'll notice that they have given you the scaled solution on the right hand side. So this is actually what the answer is going to look like. So when we would look at a drawing like this, we would have to know that this over here is my top view. This over here is my front view. You're going to have to learn that these are where these views are positioned. You'll notice that in the top view, when you're looking down on these sets of stairs, that the stairs are not up against the picture plane, which means that the first stair, which is this step over here, is going to have to go back to the vanishing point. So we're going to start off our drawing by taking the first block back to the vanishing point. So we're going to take those four corners back. And we are then going to project where we would see them on the picture plane. So using your ruler, you're going to go to the station point, and I'm going to go line up this ruler with my first corner, and I'm going to bring it to where it hits that picture plane. Where it hits the picture plane, I'm going to rest my ruler on my clipboard to make sure that my lines are nice and straight. For those of you that don't have a clipboard, I recommend that you take your ruler and you line up your ruler with your border line. And in so doing, you will be able to get those lines as perpendicular as you possibly can. But otherwise, just lean that ruler up against that clipboard and slide that line down to where it crosses these two lines. So this corner here is in the top view looking down at this corner over here. So we're going to line up these two corners. We take them back to the vanishing point to where it is projected to here. So that is our first 2 points. This is now the start of your object, so we can now start drawing it in dark. All of these lines here are parallel to the picture plane. So you are able to draw a parallel line across to here. But just to make sure that this is accurate, I'm going to project this line down as well, just to show you that these lines will actually match up. So these two lines, which line up with this corner, we take back to where it hits the picture plane, we'll bring it down, and it's going to actually line up with this line here. Now there is room for a little bit of inaccuracy, because obviously you're using clipboards, but as far as possible, try and get these lines as parallel as you can. Now we want to see the depth of the stair. So when we're looking at it from the top, we can see how far this goes back. So I'm going to go to this corner here. This corner is going to give me that first level of that stair. Again, you use the same concept. We line up our ruler with the station point, meet it up with this corner, draw it in where it hits the picture plane. I'm going to bring this down to where it crosses that same line, and that is where the first level is going to end. Again, I can take this line back parallel to where it meets up with this corner, but for accuracy, I'm just going to show you that I can also just project this line down, and this line over here will match up with that corner. The next thing I want to do is find out how high that second stair is. So looking at this height over here, so I'm going to take this height, because remember that we get our height from our front view and our width from our top view. So now I want to find out how high is that stair. So now we're moving on to that second level of that stair. We're going to project that back where it crosses this line. We can now see how high that stair is. This stair goes across to this corner here, so I'm going to have to take this corner back to my vanishing point. And I can take this across to that line. Okay, so now we're going to go, we need to know how deep this level is. We would see that from the top. So I'm going to go to my top view and I'm going to say, all right, how far back does that second step go? And I'm going to match up the front view and the top view. So we know that step is going to go back to there. What is the height for this back corner here? So this back corner here, if we're looking at the height, 1, 2, 3 on that third step. Here we've got the first step, the second step, the third step. So how high is that third step? You go to that point. I take that third corner back to the vanishing point to where it crosses that line, and that will give me the height for that third step. The whole time I'm going to be matching, so I know that this corner here is going to join this line here, so I can take this step back to where it crosses this line. And I can just start drawing in lastly, I've drawn in the height for that third one. I've got to take this corner back. And I know that 3 is going to join that line there. So I can simply take this back parallel to where it crosses there. Finally, I want to see where this back corner goes. So again, looking from the top, I would have to see where I'm going to find these two corners. And I can bring either this corner down to my SP or this corner. Doesn't really matter. Where it hits the picture plane, I'm going to bring it down to where it matches this line here. This line goes back parallel, Another way of finding that back corner that you could use is you could simply draw a line from that back corner to your SP, and you'll see that it lines up quite nicely with that corner there. Go back to your vanishing point and just finish up your lines. Practice these concepts and you should be fine.